Hi, folks. I always wanted to do that. Just stand like I'm buffering. No. Hi, folks. Rick Berube here for another Facebook Live on this wonderful Thursday. Today we have Rich Crithfield with us, and the thing I love about about talking to you, Rich, is that you came from a great job, and you made the transition. You did it part time. I mean, you've really climbed the ladder. You've been doing it what, about 5 years now?
Yeah, going on six soon, but yes.
Going on six, and then this year you are way out ahead. Haven't you already made close to almost double what you made last year, right?
Yes, so far. Yeah.
So, well, I kind of spoiled some of the thing, but tell them a little about yourself, how long you've been doing this, and that whole transition process, because that'd be interesting for a lot of people. Because we have a class, especially in Nevada, where people take and get their license, and a lot of them ask me questions like that. So I think it'd be very helpful for them to
Okay.
somebody like you who's actually done it.
Yeah, sure. And I've been doing real estate for 6 years. When I started, I was doing another job, and I left that job 3 years ago. So I've been doing just real estate for 3 years now, just living off of that, and it's been exciting. But like many agents, as I mentioned, had another career. I was in the hospitality industry for 20 years, which happened to serve me very well. I feel like moving into real estate. But I won't give you the all 20-year of history, but maybe just the 10-year work rental application history. So 2010, I would have been working in finance at Mandalay Bay. And it was an uneasy time, of course, in the economy, and especially to be working in the hospitality sector. There were mass layoffs then. It was the last time, actually, there were mass layoffs in the hospitality industry. So I coincidentally survived then as well, because I wasn't working in finance, which was deemed an essential department. So, that was fantastic. But I really didn't like that job. I could not live well being an accountant as a career, but that's okay. What I learned, though, what I got out of the job was invaluable, and it's really served me well moving into real estate. But let's see here, that would have been 10 years ago. So then fast forward to, say, 6 years ago, when I began my real estate career. I had moved out of finance, and I was a casino host at the time at Mandalay Bay still. So I decided a few years into doing that I wanted to get into real estate. And gosh, this is really taking me back. But when I launched my real estate career, I really put almost 40 hours into it, which isn't nearly enough in real estate. But I was pretty much, for the most part, juggling two full-time jobs at that time, and it was a lot of work. But I was determined, and just going to persevere and make real estate my second career. And it was a lot to go through working, two jobs at the same time. And I know a lot of people have done it. So, but I worked my Mandalay Bay contacts a lot. And that's why I stayed so long doing two jobs. I actually got quite a few transactions from my Mandalay Bay contacts.
Yeah.
And even today, I'm still have new business that is originating from my contacts back there at Mandalay Bay. So, it just underscores, keep in touch with your sphere of influence, and it'll carry you through.
So that's awesome. I love it, and I love that hotel too. I mean, I wouldn't want to work there either, but I love the hotel.
It's a great, it really is.
It is. There's a good venue there. I mean, it's really nice. So, and I love the outside concerts there on the beach there. That's kind of cool. So, you did it for about 2 years, working pretty much full time. I mean, that must have been when. Okay, I guess the question is, when did you get to a point? How many transactions? When you get to a point, you go, okay, you know what? I'm going to leave this job, give my. Where were you at in your production when you decided to do
Um, I don't know what the exact numbers were, but I remember I was. This is kind of a funny story. I was dating my partner at the time, and I had told him what I was doing with a career change, and he was completely supportive, of course. And I said to him, I don't know when I'm going to be ready to leave one career and jump and full, both feet into real estate, but I said, I'll know it when I know it.
Yep.
And it finally got to the point to where I was just too busy in real estate to continue working in Mandalay Bay. And that was a trigger in my head. I was like, okay, if I can't do both jobs, the one that I had set up to leave is the one I'm going to leave. And so I actually had, I remember one Sunday morning, I'll make a long story short, but I remember one Sunday morning, I was in the pool. We were taking a little Sunday morning swim, and I said to my partner, I think I'm ready to make the big jump. And I was explaining my reasoning, and he was letting me, get clarity in my head by listening to me. And of course, he says, okay, so are you thinking next month, next, in 2 months? And I said, no, I'm giving my notice tomorrow. And he's like, oh, okay, great. And so we got out of the pool, and I remember this vividly. There's just like signs from the universe. But it was also during the time when I had my very first $1 million listing. And we got out of the pool. We were going to take a friend to brunch that morning for his birthday, or that afternoon for his birthday. And I went upstairs. I took a shower. I got out of the shower, and there on my phone is a text message from an agent that wanted, actually Francesca out of the St. Rose, wanted to show my $1 million listing. And long story short, we were in escrow later that week, and I just felt very good about the decision I had made just days prior. And it was like the universe just said, go, you're going to be fine. Or at least that's the way I took it. And I really haven't looked back. I miss Mandalay Bay. It's a great property, but I haven't looked back as far as making the career change.
Yeah, isn't it's so true, Rich. When you make a decision, and you think about it, listen, you were completely organized about it. I mean, you had your job, you got your license, you were working both for a while, so you took the super safe route and and the really responsible route and so forth. But it's good when you make a decision. It is weird some way, the way everything lines up, and it kind of shows you that you've made the right decision. By the way, I know Francesca very well too. If she's showing the property, there's probably a good chance it's going to go under contract.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great.
When my assistant was named Francesca, and Francesca was the only Francesca here for a long time, and she came one day and she goes, "I'm the original."
The original. I love it.
I know that. So that's awesome. I love it. It is good, and it sounds like you are a spiritual person. Like you do, listen to that type of energy, and keep aware of that. And that's true. I think that's huge in real estate.
It is. I totally agree. And there's been times since then where I've just I've had meetings with Amanda, and have spoken things to her in our great conversations, and they've come to fruition. I think in part because I have verbalized it, and I do believe in that.
Yeah, just so you know, I'm going to tell you what she texted me a minute. She said, "You're a super stellar rock star." That was how she described you.
Oh, thanks. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah, no, she's great. So Suzanne too. They're both great over there. That's a great office.
I love them. Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, cool. So you leave there, you get in real estate. It sounds like do you concentrate mostly on the high end, or do you try to stay above a certain sale price, or do you help anybody in your sphere and all that good stuff?
I help anybody in my sphere. I helped somebody earlier this year with a $130,000 condo. I've helped this year with a couple of rentals even. And I have another $1 million property in contract right now with Tom Fraley, actually, also out of St. Rose. So just anyone who needs help and is well qualified, of course.
Nice. Yeah, Tom, another rock star agent over here at St. Rose. So
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, we have so many rock star agents, don't we? I mean, what a incredible. Yeah.
We do. Absolutely. It's inspiring, and it's a great crowd to be around. I love it.
Yeah, and you know what? It's like if I played tennis with somebody as good as me every day versus playing tennis with Rafael Nadal every day, I think I'd get better playing Nadal, right?
Right.
But remember, not everybody looks at it that way. Some people like to be, the biggest fish in the small pond, which is not really a great way to grow.
Right. I'm always and that's usually my goal is the way I look at things is I just want to be better to myself year over year. So whatever my last record was, I just want a new personal best for myself.
And you're definitely doing that this year. you're on quite a pace. What are you? You're almost at 8 million, aren't you?
Yeah, it's incredible. I'm kind of beside myself, but yeah, things I've caught a wave back in September, and I'm going to ride it as long as I can. Very fortunate. So.
Well, this is great. I don't know if anybody told you there's a pandemic going on.
A couple things in the news
Didn't
about
hear from me though. Okay.
that.
No, that's great. With that going on, and you know what I would say, based on what I'm hearing from you, Rich, is that you have momentum going, right?
I do. Yep, absolutely. And trying to continue keeping that going. Absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about that. So you work your sphere. It sounds like it's a good group. You work Mandalay Bay. Is there any other groups that you would call your lead sources?
Yeah, mostly, when I think about sphere of influence, because we hear about that a lot in real estate, I really drilled down on that. Um, I think that agents really should be looking where the gold is in your previous clients. I really stay in touch. That's the best advice I think I could give to myself continuously, because it's not necessarily easy to do all the time. But your past clients are where the gold is, because they've experienced an agent when they're on, when they're at work. And so their referral, I think, goes a long, long ways, even much more than like a referral from a friend that's going to give, or a family member. I mean, your friends and family love you, but somebody that's experienced you when you're on, it's going to go a long, long ways out there in the world when referrals are being given out. So I really, really stay in touch, make it a point of staying in touch with my past clients. And it's worked out very well for me.
That's awesome. It sounds like not only do you stay in touch with them, you drill down. It's like one of the things I teach in Success Series is you have a sphere of influence. Everybody in your sphere has a sphere. Ask them if there's anybody else you can. It sounds like that's what you're doing as well.
Right, exactly.
So give us a little, do you keep track? Do you have a routine? Do you make sure you call them X amount of times per year? How exactly do you do that?
You know what? I reach out. I reach out on birthdays, of course, and I know a lot of agents do that, and that's fantastic. But I also just reach out whenever something. I try to keep my pulse on what's going on in the real estate industry. Interest rates. Now's a great time to reach out to your clients and ask about refinancing. I'm not always asking for a transaction or a sale, but hey, have you refinanced your home? Now's a great time to do that. Just touching them and staying in touch and letting people know that you're really invested in the real estate industry. And if you are the professional in all things real estate, I think that you're more apt to get a referral from that as well.
All right, cool. I love it. So, okay, so anything like you do open houses? Do you like to do just listed, just sold, or anything like that as well, or do you do mail outs? Give me an idea of your marketing plan as well, please.
Yeah, I do mail outs. I use I use cards. I send out cards. Those I always get some feedback from the cards I send out. I do, when we're allowed, open houses. I'm much better face to face. I know some people are great on the phone. I know some agents in our office that are stellar on the phone. I wish I had that ability, but I feel like I'm better face to face. So that's what I do, and that's what works for me. And just a lot of networking. You're invited to birthday parties or weddings or holidays or wherever. Go. Sometimes we don't always want to go. We don't always have time, or our schedule doesn't always permit, and we have a lot of clients and there's a lot going on. But you go to one of those events that you're invited to and take your business cards. You'll definitely be handing some out. So I make sure that I'm attending as much as I can from my past clients as well.
Yeah, and that's such a great point too, because real estate is such a talking point, especially when they find out you're in real estate. Then they have all kinds of questions, like you just said, interest rates. I'm sitting at my house. We had some work done, and I'm going to tell you the Reader's Digest version because I just told this on Tuesday. But a subcontractor who's not. I mean, he fixes homes up, and he's at my house and he's finishing up something, and he says to me, "Oh, I'm so sorry about your business, and foreclosures going up, and prices going down." And I go, my joke is always, "Oh, you watch CNN?" He goes, "Oh, yeah, as a matter of fact, I do." And I go, then I told them the numbers, 1,250 properties were on the contract last week in Vegas. Another almost 1,000 came on, more are going under contract that are selling. Properties values have gone up during the I mean, So, it's such a refreshing thing when you can be in a situation like that and set them straight as to what's going on because nobody knows our numbers like we know our numbers, right?
Right, exactly. And one of the things I do, I try to look for the simplest way to um, convey information to people. So when I log on, when we all log on to the MLS, and there's those the stats right there that say how many have gone under contract and expires and blah blah blah. I just snapshot that with my phone and I just text it out to people so that they know. And we just have a small conversation about that over text. That's a touch and they love it. And it's just so fast and easy and they understand and it puts the picture of the market right in their hand.
What a great idea. But that's a great idea. I love that.
Yeah,
Okay,
really
because
works.
numbers don't lie.
Right. It's not just me telling them and they're like, well, where did you get that information? It's like, this is direct from our MLS and
Right.
you have it. So they love it.
Yep.
Uh,
Okay, perfect. All right, my favorite question. Okay,
okay.
so and elaborate as much as you want on these three. All right, Rick.
Okay.
So, you're talking to somebody newer or somebody that wants to take their business to the next level. What are the three most important things you would tell them to focus on?
Oh boy, the three most important things would be, as we spoke about, stay in touch with your past clients. Set up a system for that. Make that happen. All of them. You know. Let's see here. The second thing would probably be get involved in selling new construction homes and all the aspects of that, meaning the walkthroughs, listening to how those agents at the office are presenting their contracts. They've been doing it for a very long time, some of them, and me just listening to them present their contract to my client. I'm always picking up tips from that, and it's bettering me when I'm presenting a contract, selling a resale then down the road. Those walkthroughs with all the supervisors or the property, the builders, I make sure I'm listening to everything they're saying about how that home is constructed. It's a huge education in real estate and will pay dividends down the road when you're selling resale homes as well. So definitely get involved in selling. I mean, literally be involved in that transaction. And then,
Because a lot of people don't do that. They just drop them off, right? Plus,
yeah,
plus while you're there, it's an opportunity for social media because a lot
yeah,
of people that go to new construction sites, they don't realize they can go with representation. So it's a good
right.
to put out there too. And the builders love when you do a little commercial about use me for the subdivision too.
Absolutely, they do. Yeah, and they're happy that you're taking pictures and blasting it out to people, of course.
Right.
So yeah, I kind of look at selling new construction homes as the best CE class I've ever taken, just repeatedly, and it's free. So it's great when you're selling a resale home and you know about the parts of the home inside and out. People ask you questions, and you're like, oh, well, this is this, and be careful of that. And I'm really just echoing what a builder has told me, but I sound like the professional at that point, and they love it. So
Cool.
yeah. Beyond that, I mean, it might sound a little cliche, but education and again networking, those are just huge in our industry. So,
Education and networking. Okay. Is there any particular person that you like as far as education, or any group of people that you like as far as real estate training or mindset or anything like that?
so I've been doing my education a lot through, of course, out of the required education. I'm CRS and have a few, things under my belt. Thinking back, when I went for my CRS education, I made it a point of taking classes that were in other states or other cities. I went to Southern California. I've been Palm Springs and Reno. And my point in going was, one, I learned more with in-class instruction than I do online, because sometimes I have the attention of a goldfish, but I need to be there. But also, it was a great opportunity to just meet agents that are in the region, and that has served me very well in getting referrals coming in for people coming into town. So networking, CRS or whatever it is, has worked very well.
Yeah, I'm the same way too. I know a lot of people say that they learn as well remote. But statistically, that's just not a fact. When you're in the same room with somebody, is a whole different experience. It affects your brain a whole different way. But I agree with you. And then what a great idea to get referrals out of it as well, which is awesome.
Right. Yeah. It's I'm still in touch with agents from those cities that I went to a few years back, and we still text and email occasionally. So, it's about getting out there and just meeting people face to face. For me, it is.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Yep, absolutely. And just since you mentioned education, I'm going to throw a little plug in. Today at 1:00, we have Mike Ferry on Zoom. So all of you have that link. It's all been on the emails. Whether you're AZ or Nevada, it's the marketing emails that go out. Be on there, because let's face it, we are in a market where inventory is declining. Did you see the numbers? What's the active inventory right now? It's getting low, isn't it?
It is. It's getting low. We need twice that much.
We do. Can you imagine when I started for the company 6 years ago? I want to say there were 30-something thousand homes on the market in Las Vegas.
Wow.
I think it was 32.5-ish. Arizona, that was like 50-something. Now Arizona's down to like 78, and we're at what, like 6.5-ish?
Incredibly low.
It's incredibly low, right? And I think we're going to have all kinds of goodies happening once the pandemic has been brought down to reality, and we have a vaccine and whatever. I think you're going to see a lot of movement. Yeah.
I totally agree.
A lot of people working out of their houses. I mean, there's so many reasons why, but we're going to see a lot of that. Okay, Rich, any final words for these wonderful people listening to you today?
I think one thing I struggle with, I'll share this, is just do things you don't want to do. Sometimes, we all have those things we don't want to do, but a lot of times I find that when I do them, something positive comes out of it, and it leads to a lead or a transaction. So that's something I try to be mindful of every day. Don't keep, because I could keep pushing things off, but I try to get it done.
So in other words, do the things you're good at, do the things you're comfortable with, but add a little something that makes you uncomfortable that will make you grow too.
Exactly.
Kind of like going to the gym.
Perfect example. Yes.
It makes you uncomfortable. People get mad at me in my coaching. They'll always ask me to help them with their phys ed, and I'll go, I don't think you're going to like me. I go, let's start with, when you leave the gym now, are you soaking wet? Well, no. Then it's not working.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
All right, Rich. Well, Rich, thank you very much for your time today. This was awesome. Keep having an incredible year. You don't have to pinch yourself. This is actually you doing it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, and everybody else, we'll do this again next week. Thanks again, Rich. Really appreciate your time, my man.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye.
All right, have a good one, man.